Today I'm going to be bringing you all a quick no-nonsense guide on how you can install Fortnite Mobile on your iOS device, meaning an iPhone or an iPad anywhere in the world. It doesn't matter if you live outside of the United States, you will be able to download Fortnite on your iOS device in just a few minutes. And all I ask in return for this is that you click that little subscribe button right below this video, because a whopping like 90% of y'all aren't subscribed, and more importantly, I've been on the journey to hit 1 million subscribers for the last like 5 years, ever since the game was initially banned. So if enough gamers click the subscribe button right now, we'll be this much closer to hitting 1 million subscribers. First things first, if you're watching this video and you live in the United States, then downloading Fortnite Mobile is as simple as heading to the App Store or clicking the iOS app link down below in the description and just downloading it. United States Apple ID accounts are the only accounts in the world that currently have native access to go to the App Store, look up Fortnite, and then download the game. But I assume most of you watching this video live outside of the United States and still want to download the game on your iPhone or iPad. And don't worry, there are 2 free methods we can use to download the game on iOS from anywhere in the world. Now, before we get on with how to download the game on iOS, there are a few requirements you will need to meet in order to successfully download the game. The first of which, and most importantly, is you will need to have a United States Apple ID. But that's what the rest of this video is for, quickly explaining how to accomplish this. But apart from this, your device will also have to have at least 4 gigabytes of RAM. This isn't something you can upgrade or change. Your device just comes with a preset amount of RAM, but on screen right now are a list of devices that have at least 4 gigabytes of RAM. If your device isn't on this list, or if you're unsure of how much RAM your device has installed, simply doing a quick Google search should help you find that out. And as it stands right now, Fortnite Mobile is a huge app. I think it's on 13 gigabytes in size. So before you go out trying to download the game, make sure you can have at least around 16 gigabytes of free space on your phone to make sure you can download the game and it runs properly. And assuming you've met these requirements, let's go and complete the more tricky step, which is obtaining a United States Apple ID account if you, of course, live outside of the United States. Now, there are 2 methods in which you can use to accomplish this. The first of which, and the one I don't recommend, but it is still an option, is switching your primary Apple ID account over to the United States. It truly is a pretty simple task, but one big caution to throw out there is that if you're someone who frequently uses your Apple ID account to make purchases, or you have active subscriptions, then changing your region over to the United States could have a pretty big impact with the use of your account. Something else to note is that some users report having to wait from 90 days all the way up to 12 months before being able to change their App Store region once again. And so with those warnings out of the way, here's how to change your primary Apple ID account App Store region to the United States. Simply go to your App Store and click on the little profile icon in the top right-hand corner. You should see your primary Apple ID account signed in. Go ahead and click on your name or email address, and then if you scroll down a little bit, you should see the country/region setting. This, of course, will not be set in the United States, but that is what we're going to quickly change. Now, in order to change your region, you are going to have no active subscriptions with your Apple ID and no account balance or credits. As you can see in this example, my account did have some credits, so I had to find a way to spin the balance down to 0 in order to be able to change my App Store region from Australia to the United States. But once you've done this, you can go back to the menu, go and scroll down until you see the United States, or just type it in to select it. And at this point, Apple is going to be asking you to enter a payment method to finalize you changing your App Store from whatever region you're currently in over to the United States. The great thing about this is you don't actually need a valid payment method. You can simply select the none option and then continue on to enter a United States billing address. Again, this is very easy to complete as Apple does allow and accept fake United States addresses at this step in the process. So I will be leaving a link down below in the description to a United States fake address generator. Don't worry, this isn't anyone's real address, not stealing someone's personal information. It's a fake address that still comes up as verified within Apple's system. So simply go generate a address and just copy and paste the billing address, the street, everything as listed, including the phone number. You will need to copy and paste over the fake phone number into your billing address. Don't worry, Apple won't use this at any point in the process to verify this phone number. You just need a quote-unquote valid US phone number to complete this step in the process. And once you've entered in all the information and you click done, it should submit successfully. Your App Store should refresh, and when you search up Fortnite, you should now be able to download the game. If you don't see it, you can try refreshing your App Store and opening it back up, but as long as in your settings page of your profile in the App Store, your account says the United States, you should be able to download the game. Now, if you don't want to switch over the App Store region of your primary Apple ID, I don't blame you, and I recommend you do this instead. Rather than changing your main Apple ID, we're going to be quickly creating a second or alternative Apple ID account that is located in the United States. We are first going to head to the App Store once again and sign out of your primary Apple ID account on your device. Don't worry, you'll be able to sign back in once you've installed Fortnite Mobile, but first let's sign out of the Apple App Store and then head to the settings and then again sign out of our primary Apple ID account on this device. When you're signing out, make sure that you save a copy of all the important data from your iCloud. It should take a few seconds to back up. And so that way, once you've downloaded Fortnite and you sign back in, you're not missing any of your important information you need on a day-to-day basis. Once you've signed out, click the little Apple account button. And rather than signing into your existing Apple ID, you want to scroll to the bottom of this menu and select I don't have an account. This will then prompt you to create a brand new Apple ID account. The only important thing you need to note at this point in the process is for your birthday, your account needs to be at least 21 years or older. Again, Apple does no sort of verification of this, so enter any birthday that is at least 21 years of age or older. Next, in the process, when Apple asks you to enter an email, just click don't have an email address, and this will prompt you to create a brand new iCloud email address that is linked to this Apple account. Now, it doesn't matter specifically what the email address is, but you will need to remember the email address and the password because you might potentially need this information to sign back into the App Store once you finish creating your account. So don't just spam in some random email and password. At least make it something that you can remember because you might need it in just a few moments. Once you've created your email and password to verify and authenticate things, Apple is going to ask you for your phone number. Now, in this case, you will need to enter your legitimate real phone number because Apple will be texting you a two-factor authentication code that you will need to enter in just a moment. It is completely fine if your phone number is located outside of the United States. You do not need a United States phone number to complete the step. Wherever your phone number is from, just enter in the actual details so that way you can receive the code and finish the account creation process. Once you've entered the code, it should take a few moments to finalize setting up your brand new account. And at this point, you should be able to open up the App Store, and there is a good chance that your new Apple ID will already be signed into the App Store because we'd previously signed out with our primary Apple ID at the beginning of this process. But don't worry, again, if your Apple ID that you just created is not currently signed into the App Store, just log out of whatever account is currently signed in and sign in using the email and password you just created to continue on with the final step. Now, at this point, when you open up the profile settings of your account in the App Store, you will see that the region is still not in the United States. That is, again, totally fine. Don't be alarmed. This is all a part of the process. The final step is again going to be changing whatever region your account is currently located in over to the United States. The good thing about this is because your account was just created, you don't have any credits or active subscriptions or payment methods, and so finalizing the step should take around 60 seconds. Simply find the United States in the drop-down list of regions to choose from, and then when prompted to enter a payment method, just like the previous method, you don't actually need a valid payment method. You can just select the none option and then fill out the billing address section with a fake United States address. Again, Apple doesn't verify the addresses that you enter in, so as long as it meets their base criteria, you will be good to go. And in order to source a fake United States address, again, I will leave a link down below in the description to a website that I personally used during this process to switch over my Australian Apple ID account over to the United States. I didn't use my real address for this. I used a fake address, and my account's App Store region was still switched to the United States. One last thing to note in this process is you will need to enter in the fake United States phone number when entering in the billing address information. I know just moments ago, you entered in your real phone number that's attached to your Apple account, but don't worry, this won't cause any problems. It is completely fine to enter a fake phone number because Apple will not text you any verification codes at this step in the process. And voila, once you've done that and submitted your billing address information, as long as everything was entered correctly, you should now have a new second Apple ID account that is located in the United States territory. This is perfect because now you can go and just simply search up Fortnite on the App Store and you'll be able to download the game. Once your game has finished installing, at this point, you can sign out of this second Apple ID account and re-sign back in with all of your primary accounts, both in the App Store and the settings menu. Don't forget to sign back into your account in the settings menu. That is a very important step. Although you won't be signed into the account that initially downloaded Fortnite on your iOS device, you will still be able to receive in-app updates and App Store updates through the settings menu without having to sign back into the account. So whenever there's a new Fortnite update, just simply go to the App Store, go to the little profile section, and you should be able to update Fortnite from there without actually being able to search the game in the App Store. And so just like that, gamers, in a few minutes, you've now successfully downloaded Fortnite Mobile on your iOS device, regardless of where in the world you're located. If this tutorial in any way, shape, or form helped you download Fortnite on your iPhone or iPad, then again, subscribing to the channel would be an absolute massive help. And a huge thanks to anyone who dropped this up on today's video. If any information or steps regarding this method change at any point in time, I will leave a pinned comment down below on updated methods or steps or potential resources you can use to assist you. But given that this has been a tried and true method to download apps from other regions for years on the iOS ecosystem, I really don't see this changing anytime soon. Again, thanks for watching, gamers, and I'll see you out there on Fortnite iOS.